Florida is home to approximately 4,500 islands, making it one of the states with the most islands in the United States. Alaska beats Florida with the most islands, but Alaska doesn't have seashells like Florida does. And today we are headed over to one of Florida's islands to look for seashells on a seashell tour. Yes, there are tours you can go on where guides help you find seashells, but today I'm going to be your guide as we look for shells like this pear whelk and this calico scallop as we explore Dickman's Island here in Southwest Florida. I have a really fun time identifying the shells. This is a lace murex here on the left and a little piece of something we're not going to worry about on the right. And what else? All right, right here. Okay, calico scallop. That's one of the, we only get a couple of scallops down here, but calico scallops is one of the more common ones. All right, just kind of checking out the water here. All right, up in the rack line. Holy smokes. Now this is also a calico scallop, but sometimes it just gets that burst pattern. See the white like bursts? A lot of times that's going to be orange. That's kind of fun that it was white. All right, no shortage of seashells here. Hopefully there'll be some pretty fun stuff. It is summer, and that means shelling is a little slower. Oh, that looks pretty good. We're going to go wash that off, but let's see if there's anything else kind of buried here. Okay, I see another lightning whelk. Yeah, all right, excellent. It is whole. Fabulous. All right, some sandy lightning whelks. We'll go wash those off. Anything else? Oh, we should probably grab this calico scallop too. Doesn't necessarily need to get washed off, but sure is pretty. Okay. All right, so we'll take those down and really get a better look at it. A lot of times you kind of can't tell the condition of the shell until you really kind of see it. Yeah, unfortunately, the larger one, it's kind of pitted, but the smaller lightning whelk is just about perfect. Oh, that's so pretty. So that's awesome. We'll hold on to that. And there's going to be so many other fabulous things we're going to see today. A bunch of flat urchins. We're going to have big shells. We're going to have spotted shells. We're going to have tiny shells. We're going to have tiny colorful shells. We're going to have big colorful shells. And a pretty special shell I've never held before. So if you're ready to see what all is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. Okay, so we've established we're here on Dickman's. I'm going to be your guide today. And the way it's going to work is hopefully the day will get better as far as shelling as the tide goes out. So right now the tide's a little high. It is going out. At least I managed to score this lettered olive. And I always kind of give them a test. Hopefully we'll find another one and I'll kind of explain the little thumb test I give those olives. Now this is a sunray Venus clam. Very fancy clam. Well, we have a couple clams down here and a couple of them are kind of fancy. So these are the sunray Venus ones and a little horse conch. All right, at least there's something here for now. We'll rinse those off. All right, so the horse conch, you know what? I think it's a little broken. It's fine. I've already got it. I'm going to put it in my bag. And then these sunray Venus clams, I love the different colorations of them. They're so pretty. And then these, sometimes you'll see this kind of like hanging out in the background. This is called nacre. It's also called mother of pearl. And we have a pen shell. I will show you momentarily a pen shell. And these pieces of nacre break off from the interior of the pen shell. So that is nacre or mother of pearl. That is a bay scallop. Again, we don't have a lot, like bay scallop, calico scallop, rough scallop, at least here in Southwest Florida. So that's a calico scallop. So here's the two, and frankly, I'm telling them apart by the coloration. They really are very similarly shaped. The little wings on the bottom can also be very similar, but we're looking at a bay scallop and a calico scallop. Oh, I was going to say lightning whelk, but it could have been a pear whelk, but we are looking here at a lightning whelk with a little bit of beach stuff on it, but I think that'll come off. All right. Nice little find. Oh, American oyster catchers. Oh, they're so fun to watch. You can't really see them here. This is what they look like. Aren't they fun? I love their giant orange beaks. So that is an American oyster catcher. And we're here up on the upper rack line. So earlier high tides have pushed this stuff up here. And we're looking at a pen shell. So this is the shell that nacre you'd find on the inside. It does appear as if it's broken off of this one. Oh, hi there. So that is a juvenile. So it's not quite full grown Florida fighting conch that has a lot of weight on it that just is very appealing to me. I like those shells anyway. And this is a moon snail. We call this a shark eye. All right, hanging up here on the top in the high rack line. Terrific. Yeah, everything's pretty sandy up here. Oh, so that is a more of an adult size fighting conch. I do adore them. Yep, my favorite shell. Florida fighting conch and a little moon snail. An angel wing. And there's a couple different types of angel wings. This is what you would call a true angel wing. That pattern, that like waffle pattern, is evident across the entire shell. So that would be a true angel wing. All right, little baby rack line here. All right, we have a yellow prickly cockle, fun, and that little purple thing to the side, that was a horse mussel. I'm sorry, I didn't pick that up. For now, I'm just gonna pick up a couple of these jingles, and they come in a variety of colors. As you can see, white, kind of a yellow, orange, they'll sometimes be gray and black, kind of fun. And they're called jingles. There was a black one. No, I just went right over it. Looks like I'm on the light colored ones. And when you kind of like toss them around in your hand, they kind of jingle. So they are bivalve. There would normally be a bottom and a top, but the bottom is normally stuck to some sort of substrate, and the top is what kind of wiggles loose and the things that we find on the beach. And this broken shell here, I had been calling it a paper fig, but it's actually an Atlantic fig snail. So moving forward, I'm just going to call those fig snails. They're very thin. Probably why I wanted to call it a paper fig. All right, so there's definitely stuff here. And for summer, look, it's just typically a lot slower. Winter is what really helps push those winter winds, push the shells in. We know that this is a true angel wing because it has that waffle pattern on the entire shell. Awesome. Oh, a tail of a, yeah. So that's all it was literally just the tail of a horse conch. That would have been a sweet little find if the entire shell was connected to that tail. That is okay. Oh, I like shells with a lot of syllables. All right, that is a calico clam. So that's the other fancy clam. And I liked the rib cantharus. I think I like cantharus because it has a lot of syllables. But that is a ribbed cantharus and a calico clam. Fun little shells. So we're on Dickman's. Those buildings down there, that is on the very south end of Marco Island. All right, excellent. The tide's going out. So I'm hoping, again, that things will kind of pick up and we'll find things that are just a little bit more exciting. We shall see. Not to worry. I mean, basically, Southwest Florida, we always have seashells. Would you look at this adorable creature? This came out. This is a calico box crab with a little sand mask. I don't want to disturb its beauty time, but it was buried, came out, and just left that stand on its face. Okay. And leave that calico box crab where it is. Now, I do typically expect to find sand dollars when I come to Dickman's Island. This is a Discdocenia. So I do anticipate hopefully finding at least one or two sand dollars. I like the Discdocenias, that shell I'm holding. It's got that very delicate, like, top shape to it. Kind of spills over. This is a moon snail. It is a shark eye. Okay, that hole there was drilled by another shark eye. We can tell by the shape of it. Interesting. So it's a snail world. A fighting conch. I'm rather drawn to the orange ones and yellow and brown ones. So this one, it's just got a lot of nice ribs on it, or a lot of nice texture. And it is a juvenile. The lip of it is not very thick. So as the animal gets older, that lip will get thicker, and you'll also be able to see the stromboid notch a lot better. We've talked about that a couple times, a couple previous episodes. This is a Florida cone. Florida cones are, I just think that they're the most adventurous animals out there. The shells are almost always beat up. They're very adventurous creatures, those Florida cones. There we go. There's one of our flat urchins. Oh, it's a really good one too. So that's a 5-hole keyhole sand dollar. They do have pintle radial symmetry. It's a little 5 little pieces to it. They're so beautiful. I don't know that I'll ever tire of picking those up. Now this is a very cool find for me. I was like, okay, is this a wedding shell? Wedding shells are when you find shells that are not supposed to be here. If I were to find a nautilus, like I'm not supposed to find that here. So this particular shell though, it did look like it had a stromboid notch. So I thought perhaps it is native to Florida, and it is. This is a juvenile milk conch. They are normally found in the Keys or on the East Coast, but super exciting for me. I've never found a milk conch. Really, really cool. And this is a colorful moon snail. It does look a little bit like that shark eye, but it is much more colorful. Not because the shell is more colorful. The animal is really, really colorful. That's a piece of true tulip. True tulips are pretty awesome. They get real big. They have really rich, deep, awesome colors. Here's a calico scallop. Some of the beach stuff will pick right off. I don't spend too much time. I don't want to cut my hands, so I don't mess around too much. If it's something obvious that can flick off, I will do that. Now I kind of saw this like congestion of shells, very congested area. And so I just wanted to move things around a little bit to see what else was here. A very pitted moon snail. We're going to leave that here. Okay. All right. Florida fighting conch. That's terrific. I do that one. I like that row of spikes on it. So just kind of move things around, see if there's anything kind of buried, because that's where the shells are always here. It's just a matter of if they're hiding under the sand. This is another lettered olive, and it's almost, so there is a variety of coloration called a golden olive, and this is like 30% of a golden olive, so it's very, very light, but a golden olive would really have that yellow tone over the entire shell, and this really only just has a sliver. Still a really cool find. It's not like I'm going to leave it at the beach or anything. Very cool yellowish olive. And this is a top snail. Now the top snail has nacre, like the pen shell, underneath that top layer of shell. So that is a top snail. And, oh, now this apple murex was pretty spectacular. I mean, look at the spike. Oh, on top, it's so pointy and just very angular. That was a really nice example of an apple murex. This is a very large example of our third angel wing. It's really big. Now that stuff at the end, I typically just kind of call it beach stuff. It's deposited there by other marine animals, and typically a soak in 100% bleach will really kind of loosen that stuff off. So that is an angel wing. Another colorful moon snail. I don't know if I got my sentiment out earlier. The animal is actually very colorful, and I believe that's why this is called a colorful moon snail, because the animal is really, really colorful. Oh, and I love anything orange, and especially bright orange, like glowing. It's a calico scallop. Nothing crazy. Still another one of our little common shells, but just an uncommon color. So there's the south end of Marco Island. The birds are having a great old time. The tide's going out. I feel like I have this place to myself. Yeah, there's maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 other people here. Oh, there's a little true tulip. Okay, I'll pair that like a fine wine with this calico scallop. Excellent. Okay. 2 more very lovely seashells. Oh, all right, a Florida cone that is not all broken. I know it's got some beach stuff on it, so that's a pretty well-behaved Florida cone. Nice looking shell. Okay. The zigzag arc, or a turkey wing. Oh, it's been here a minute, but the front, yeah, it still looks pretty good. So I'm going to hold on to that. I can tell it had been buried in sand that had been low oxygenated. It was discolored on the back, but the front looked great. Baby cone, that's a little dusky cone. We will have alphabet cones, Florida cones, and dusky cones. None of them are dangerous. They're all, for all intent and purposes, they're okay. Now, you might have been wondering, wow, how did she get to this awesome island? Well, I always tour with Allie with SWFL Shell Guide. I will put the information below. I feel really, really good about recommending Allie because she will absolutely bring you to where she hopes most of the shells will be. So she really does care about your experience. I love recommending Allie, SWFL Shell Guide. And so that was a little black skimmer. And we're going to head back, I think this way. Oh, another sand dollar. Excellent. So for all intent and purposes, I'm kind of concentrating on the south end of the island. This sand dollar may or may not make it. It's going to go in my delicates container. We'll just have to kind of see how that works out. Most of the sand dollars do make it back in one piece. That is so pretty. Yeah, I know. Very common, but I still really like the Sunray Venus. I love the white band along the bottom there. Pretty. Oh, I see spots. Ah. So yeah, you can go from, I call it elation to deflation rather quickly. That is a piece of an alphabet cone. I flipped it over so I could maybe prevent someone else from going through that little mental journey I just went through, but I'll console myself with that lightning whelk. The banded tulip, they're kind of fun. It's like some days there's like a gazillion of them. Today, I'm not finding a gazillion, maybe a handful. Oh, there's so many little tiny things here. There's all these little barnacles. Oh, tiny shells. I did see a little horse conch. Yeah, are there any baubles? Sometimes a little, what do we got? Oh no, a fly speck seraph. So I do enjoy looking for Wentel traps. However, they're not, for me, they're not very easy to find. Oh, I saw a little drill. All right, so that, yeah, grab that little mauve mouth drill. Lovely. So yeah, if the big shells aren't around, so pay attention. There could be some good small stuff kind of washing around. So that's another cantharus, but that is a tinted cantharus. Doesn't look anything like the rib cantharus, but I don't make the names up because believe me, I would call them different things. So this black stuff kind of washing around, we shellers call that coffee grounds. And it kind of starts me thinking Wentel trap, like maybe beautiful calico, a rich colored calico clam. So that's one of the fancy clams, the calico clam. Yep, I do think they're very beautiful. All right, back into the tinies, all right. Yeah, a piece of something. A bubble, okay? So that's one of the indicators. If we were going to look for Wentel traps, you're going to look for those coffee grounds, bubbles, and then hopefully the conditions are okay. This is tough with the water moving so much. Here's a little dusky cone. But sometimes it'll be just like at low tide, just at the right conditions. The water is very gently kind of lapping at the shore, and that's when it's really good to get the Wentel traps. Oh, and the sand dollars, they're just going to pop up whenever they pop up. And I was expecting to find them, so yay, this adorable little one. And yes, when I'm out here, I spend most of my time with my head down, really, but every now and then I pick my head up to enjoy the beautiful surroundings. So I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy some beach time. Oh, a little handful of goodness. All right, so that little cantharus, for a hot second, I thought that might have been a nutmeg, but this is another one of those tinted cantharus shells. Lovely. Yeah, I used to really not like them. I don't know what it is. After a time, I guess, it changes. You're used to seeing certain things. You get excited about seeing other things. Lettered olives, I don't know that I'm ever going to stop being able to pick them up. Look at how fat and chunky. The ones we get here in Southwest Florida can be very glossy and very pointy. Obviously, visually, I can tell if it's pointy, but with my thumb, I can tell if it's going to be shiny. Now, this little weird chunk, I normally find on the beach, kind of stranded. I call it beach brains, but it is technically a tunicate called sea pork, and it kind of feels almost like an eraser, like it's got a little bit of give, but it's quite hard. So weird stuff like that you can kind of find. Sea pork. Oh, a very well-behaved Florida cone. Like this one didn't have detention or anything. So another really lovely Florida cone. Are you serious? Oh, it's perfect. So yeah, like where did it even come from? I have been kind of shelling in this area, so low tide really does help. The water, it keeps hitting that same area over and over, kind of revealing things like this alphabet cone. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yay. So, okay, with the low tide going out, we get to see good shells and some good critters. So we have living lightning whelks. I took a walk out to the sandbar just in case there might have been any empty big shells out here, but apparently all the big shells out here are inhabited by the creatures. They are not quite done. Oh, they're so cool. And the ones that are going to be really big, those are going to be the females. They need the energy to produce the eggs, and the smaller ones will be the males. Now I see a tail. We call the bottom this little tail. Is it alive? Yes, the animal. Okay, just wanted to check. I really do enjoy these 10,000 island tours because they're 4 hours long and it really gives you plenty of time to get out there and really enjoy your surroundings. Or colorful moon snail. So this one at some point repaired itself. It kind of has a crack in it, but it is repaired. Another lovely colorful moon snail. Oh, that's real pretty. So that is a fighting conch. Juvenile, because that lip is not very thick. We do not see really a stromboid notch at all. So another little Florida fighting conch. All right, there's a banded tulip. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not going to hold on to it. I want to look at this. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And I find these from time to time down here in the 10,000 Islands. That is a Tampa turrid. Yeah, I know. Wacky little name for a cute little shell, right? A Tampa turrid down here at Dickman's Island. Another sand dollar. Intact. Excellent. Yeah, I want to wash it off just to make sure before I cart it home. So I actually did a little research and I find sand dollars half the time I go to the beach. So I'm kind of spoiled, and with something like this, I know I'm going to find more in the future. So I'm going to leave that one just in case somebody else needs a sand dollar. And I know I can be picky. I can just pick the ones that are perfect. Now this little darling shell, this is one of the things that's like sand. Like here's the beach, here's water, here's a cross-barred Venus clam. They are always here. So this is a cross-barred Venus clam shell. And the interior, sometimes they will look faded and very smooth and purple or orange, but they are very, very common. Holy cow. Oh, that is beautiful. So that is a pear whelk that has just stunning color. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yay, pear whelk. Oh, a little apple murex. A darling little thing. We have found that one really, really good one, maybe a couple of the small ones. And again, as tide is going out, I'm kind of anticipating things to get better and better. Here's another alphabet cone. I'm not going to go quite as bananas over that as that first one. So this one's nice. It's fine. I'm going to keep it. It's just not quite as lovely as that other one. Do I see a moon snail? What am I chasing? I do. Yep. Another colorful moon snail, excellent. So we can get the shark eyes, the colorful moon snail. Every now and then there's this other shell that pops up, Vera's moon snail, but that I typically find on the next island south of here. So a lace murex. When you come to these islands often enough, you'll kind of get used to what kind of specimens are going to be there. Dickmans, I expect sand dollars for certain. And then pretty much maybe everything else. I did find my first Genonia here, so it does have a great breadth of different species you can find, like this beautiful lightning whelk. Oh, that's so pretty. And another, yep, another gaudy. So the colorful moon snails are also called gaudy nauticas, and I don't know why. I really don't. It's just one of those things that us shellers kind of pass along. So that is a colorful moon snail, also known as a gaudy nautica. So the buffet opened up for the birds. I did see the little fish in the surf, and so the birds saw them too. So the buffet is open. They're having themselves a wonderful time, and this is kind of making me think the winter storms, when they push all sorts of stuff up onto the beach, the birds also have a wonderful gourmet meal. So hopefully the winter will bring us some really cool stuff. Now, I realize winter is a little ways off, so I will wait for that. But right now, I'm feeling really grateful. And when I feel grateful, I think about my Patreons, because I am so thankful that you choose to support me. It means the world to me. Thank you so very much. And I do extra little special posts over on Patreon. So if you did want to be part of that community, by all means, head on over to Patreon. But my existing Patreons, please know I am pretty much always thinking of you. Thank you. So I'm not quite done with this little adventure. We have a little crab I'd like to say hi to. So this little crab is inside a common auger, and you do need to check the augers and the serifs for little hitchhikers like this little critter. Right, he's not, or he or she rather, it's just gonna kind of hang out. That's fine. Just say hi. There you go. It's gonna probably be a little easier than climbing out of that tree stump for you, or at least that little, yeah, all these, it used to be more trees here, and they're just not saltwater tolerant. And the stumps here, the trees die off, and then the stumps are here. So that's Kais Island over there. I spend a lot of time over there when I come to the 10,000 Islands, or I'm here on Dickman's, and I just love this area. The shells are fantastic, and it's so beautiful. So yeah, pinch me. I am a lucky gal. So yep, thanks so much, Dickman's. It was a swell time picking up those seashells, even for summer. I mean, it's kind of closing down, but still managed to get some great stuff. Now, garbage. Yeah, I picked up like a gum wrapper and a top of a water bottle, but it did equal 0.35 ounces. So that means in total, I've removed a little over 55 pounds of garbage from the beach. And it creates the perfect segue to the other things I've removed, like those sand dollars. There was a couple of broad-ribbed carditas, some distocenias, some true angel wings, some sunray Venus clams. We have some Florida fighting conchs, both adults, juveniles, a little pile of jingles there. Below that, we have banded tulips, a true tulip, Florida prickly cockles, one crossbarred Venus clam, some of those common augers, little drills, and that giant Atlantic cockle. We do have that buttercup lucine, those lettered olives, some shark eyes, the yellow prickly cockles, the dusky cones, the Florida cones, a little horse conchs, little pile there. The turkey wings, there's some lace murex there, and then pear whelks, gaudy nauticas, or the colorful moon snails, the lightning whelks, and there were calico scallops, a couple of base scallops, the top snails there. We got a worm snail, chestnut turban, tinted cantharus, and then my favorites are here. It's going to be that alphabet cone, the Tampa turd, those particular scallops, the Florida fighting conch, the apple murex, the ribbed, and the tinted cantharus, and of course the milk conch. Now it's not in great shape, but it's going to be a holder, so I'm going to hold on to that milk conch until I find a better example. Now, next week did not turn out the way I expected it to, and I'm going to tell you all about it. We're hitting South Marco Island. I hope you have yourself a great week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.